All right. Hi, everybody. This is a little segment on restorative yoga and meditation. I'm Alison Zimon. I'm a reproductive endocrinologist and fertility specialist at CCRM Boston. And yoga, meditation, stress reduction is really important to me and how I like to care for my patients. And I'm so lucky to be here today with Kerry Hinds. Kerry Hinds is a fabulous yoga instructor. I've taken classes with her at my favorite studio, Down Under Yoga, and she has a huge amount of experience with the fertility community and fertility stress reduction. It's really amazing to hear her lead a meditation and yoga class. I'm always thankful for it. And we hope that today you'll get a little chance to learn a little bit more about Kerry. And maybe you can tell us, Kerry, just how you came to this area of yoga and meditation.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Zimon. I was practicing yoga while I was undergoing 3+ years of fertility treatment myself. So I feel like this is a area of yoga that's kind of new, but also something that I've been really interested in for over 10 years. So I've just kind of put myself into it and learned as much as I could about it. So it was a huge help for me during my journey through fertility, and I wanted to share it with as many people as possible. So that's why I'm here.
Awesome. Yeah, she's fabulous. So thank you, Kerry. And we want Kerry and I have collaborated before because this is a really compelling and important issue to us. And right now, more than any time, I think we know that our fertility patients have a certain level of stress, anxiety associated with it. But now, in the face of COVID-19, it seems like the level of stressors in life are almost overwhelming. And so we're hoping to kind of teach you a little bit about how we view stress reduction using restorative yoga and meditation. And the idea is to try to reduce your stress and help your system, improve your immunity, improve the rest within your body. And maybe learning a little bit about these techniques can really help your overall health and your ability to cope with everything around us in the world today.
Yeah, and we also co-wrote a paper or article or whatever you want to call it, and that's up on the Resolve New England, up on their blog, but also in the print magazine that just came out. So that's also another reason why we're doing this, just to share on that as well. So I'll just jump into one of the things we talk about in the article is identifying, I'm sorry about the background noise, identifying the major causes of stress. So first we have the lack of control, and then uncertainty, emotional isolation, and also the inability to express emotions. And this is all work from a doctor named Gabor Mate, if anybody's familiar with him. He's wonderful, works with nervous systems and so on, and disease. And so when we look at those 4 things, lack of control, uncertainty, emotional isolation, inability to express emotions, not only is that very telling of our fertility journeys, but it's also, when we're dealing with the virus right now, it's very timely speaks to that as well, because we have no control. We don't know what's going on. So we are triggering our stress right now. There's no doubt about it, right?
Yeah, and it has huge consequences, really. I mean, I think we all know that, right? When we feel stress, there's a lot of symptoms that we feel within our body. There's physical symptoms. We may have headaches, have trouble sleeping, maybe not eat as well, binge eating, grinding our teeth. Everybody manifests their stress differently, but I think we've all experienced some of those symptoms. Sometimes there's behavioral, if there's a tendency towards alcohol use or drugs, being more compulsive, having trouble being restful, having restlessness. There's emotional, we know we're edgy, maybe more irritable, can't slow our down. Yes, exactly, right? And it affects our cognitive function and our ability sometimes to be as productive as we can or do the things that we really want to do in various situations. And when you're constantly in this position of stress, it's a bit of a battle, and it's exhausting for your body. Your body is constantly on high alert, and it wears you down, and you don't get that break unless you find a way to sort of break that cycle. And I know Kerry can tell us how we can try to do that, right, Kerry? Yeah.
Yeah. So also in the article, we talk about the actions of change. So there's a really nice basic model. It's called the 3 A's. And the first is just awareness. So like actually noticing that you're stressed, right? So all those alarms that Dr. Zimon just went over, like actually recognizing those and not just passing them off as just like, that's just the way I'm thinking right now, but labeling them as a stress response in your body. And then once we're aware, we can move to the next step, which is acceptance, which can be for some like, no, I don't want to accept this state, right? But really it's not about just saying, that's it, I wave the white flag, I give in, this is what life is like. It's more just like tipping your hat to it and saying, I see you, you're stressed. Okay, so then you can move, once you've accepted it, into the action phase. And that's what we're really talking about today, is the action. So what to do. So one of the favorite quotes that I hear going all around today is from Judith Hanson-Lassiter, who I did some training with. She's wonderful. So this quote is, "It is physiologically impossible to be anxious and relaxed at the same time." So maybe you want to explain that.
Yeah, well, it is great. I mean, just conceptually to think about that, right? I mean, you're either anxious or you're relaxed. And, you know, the underpinning of this is the neurological system, the parasympathetic system and the sympathetic. And we know these as our flight or fight system. Sorry, I'm having trouble with that word. And fight or flight is, you know, basically we recognize a stressor, some fear, something that will put us in danger potentially. And we react by increasing our posture, our heart rate goes up, we're ready to fight. And our blood flow goes away from our gut, and we get clammy hands, and we're focused, but hyper focused. And it is definitely a state of intensity. The opposite is kind of how you feel just after you have a meal. Now that's the kick in of the parasympathetic system. Now your blood flow and your energy is going to your gut so that you can restore and take care of that meal that you just had, or get into that rest phase before you go to sleep. And you're either in a parasympathetic mode or a sympathetic mode. And you can have some control. While these are very basic systems in your body, you can control that. Obviously, when you see something that frightens you, you move into the sympathetic. And what we want to do is teach you how to move into that parasympathetic relaxation phase and try to go all into that.
Go all into relaxation. Yes, I love it. Yeah, so from a yogic standpoint, so I kind of see like we're all in a heightened stress response dealing with life right now, but also when we add the fertility, just things being on freeze right now, or like when are things going to happen, and this uncertainty, like we're quite high up in our chronic stress. Would you agree?
Sure.
Yeah. So the way I like to think about it is that we increase our relaxation, right? So that our stress can start to come down, right? And then eventually, we end up in that full relaxation response. So we tip the scales to relaxation, but it does take a little bit of time to get there because we need to lower the stress and increase the relaxation. Yeah, so should we jump into it? Should we do some?
Yeah, let's.
So we're going to, I'm going to guide Dr. Zimon into a nice restorative pose. She's going to set up her camera for a sec. And so basically one of the nice things about yoga is that it offers us a place to go, or like a retreat, of sorts. And then when we do restorative yoga, we're adding a meditation element into it that's hard to ignore. So we'll do that. And the other, yeah, so something I forgot to say that I think we were going to touch on was that we can't get rid of the stressors right now. Like, they're there, right? We're acknowledging them, we're aware of them. But sometimes when we talk about stress, it's like, well, I'll do that after the stressful thing's not happening anymore, or once this is over and then that. But rather than, you know, thinking that that stressor is going to be gone all of a sudden, something else is going to pop up for you. So looking at this more as, yes, you're stressed. That's okay. People are stressed. I can't get rid of the stressors themselves, but I can let my body come into a more relaxed state, which will decrease my stress reaction to everything. All right, so we're going to do a great pose called legs up the wall. So Viparita Karani, that's the Sanskrit name. So Dr. Zimon, our beautiful model, she is going to simply put her legs up the wall. It's that easy. So you kind of scoot yourself in, put your legs up. You don't have to have your hips exactly against the wall. So a little bit of space is fine, just to give your hamstrings a little bit of a break. Something else that's nice is to add a pillow underneath your pelvis if you like, or your lower back, and maybe lie on a blanket or something. If you don't have a wall available, then feel free to just throw your legs up on the sofa or on a bed or on a chair. You're getting basically the same position, just not completely straight legs. So this is nice because the feet are high, and then also the heart and the head are at the same level. So this in itself, right, like sitting up straight is a very alert way to hold your body, but when we come down onto the floor and we lay horizontal, this is a trigger for our body to go into relaxation. So we need to work harder to relax. So our body has fewer triggers for relaxation. So stillness, darkness, quiet, weight, and support. So if you want some weight on the abdominal area or on your feet, is really nice. You can cover your eyes with a scarf or an eye pillow. You know, you can wrap yourself up in a blanket. And then for some, the quiet can be a little bit distracting, which sounds weird, but you know, you're left to your own thoughts just spinning. So adding a little bit of quiet, soothing music can also be really nice. And I know I do this with myself when I meditate, just to have that anchor for my mind, something to sort of concentrate on to avoid the spinning thoughts. Good, so I'll lead you through a little meditation. So normally you may want to be up for minimum 10 minutes, maybe 15 to 20. But if you can only do 2, that's fine as well. And I'll lead the meditation, just a quick one for today. And you can come back to it if you wish. So once you're in your position, bringing your awareness to the soles of your feet. And what do you feel at the soles of your feet? Is there a tingling in your feet? Can you feel where your socks might be wrapping around your foot, or where your ankles or your heels are touching the wall? And like just imagining at that sole of the foot, just this wonderful, soft, calm, relaxing energy. Could be in a ball, could be like a blanket, anything just kind of right over those feet. And then that warmth, right? That energy, that calming, relaxed energy. Start to imagine it dripping, right? Just slowly dripping or melting down the ankles to the legs, all the way over the knees, thighs, creating relaxation all the way down to the pelvis. Once you get there, you can go ahead and take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. And then imagining just all that energy, that calmness, that ease that started at the tops of your feet. Just imagine it now, just pooling right in the pelvic area, almost like a waterfall, just dropping off the side of a cliff into that pool at the bottom. See if you can soften the abdominals, letting go of any tension or gripping that you might be holding down in that pelvic area. Really emphasizing the exhale. The exhale is calming, right? This exhale moves us more parasympathetic. So if we can lengthen that exhale, we can trigger our relaxation. And then maybe that warm, calming energy just starts to drift a little bit up to the heart. And again, finding that softness on the exhale. Over the face, relaxing the muscles of the face. They're dripping off the bones. Just really letting go of that deep, 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 deep tension. Maybe it's in the jaw, or the brow, the neck, forehead. And then bringing your awareness to the crown of your head. And just imagine somebody lovingly placing their palm on the crown of your head. That wonderful calming touch. So normally you would stay in this meditation a while longer, but for today we're going to slowly move out. So we don't want to wake up, we don't want to just roll right out of this position. We want to give our bodies and our nervous systems, right, that are hopefully calmer. We don't want to snap them right back into sympathetic by jumping up. So we're going to just take small movements with the fingers and the toes. You start to bend the knees nice and slowly. And then when you're ready, preferably rolling to your left side. So the left side is your quiet side, your parasympathetic side, your digestion side. And then when you're on your side, take a breath or two. And then when you're ready, coming up to a seated position. Good. So, how do you feel?
Great. It's really fabulous. It's very.
Can you speak up a little bit?
No, it's fabulous. It's incredible. It must have been just a few minutes, Kerry, and the difference between how I felt before and after is really tremendous. So thank you. And thank you on behalf of everybody. I really encourage everybody to use some of this wisdom that Kerry has, and there's a lot of resources available, certainly at Kerry's site and throughout the internet. And, hopefully we'll plan to do a little bit of this more. And thank you again, Kerry. This was great.
Well, thank you for having me, sharing this time with me, and being our model for today. So hopefully we can offer up a few more poses and some quick meditations for everybody during these times.
Wonderful. All right.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for joining us.